If you've ever struggled with staying motivated and focused, even when you're not getting applause or attention or claps from your audience, your potential clients, or anyone else, this episode is for you. My name is Casey Sharperson. I'm the host of the Dream Build Repeat podcast, and this is our final episode and final installment of the May Lady Boss series, where we have been focused on faith-based entrepreneurship. And this is in partnership with Cindy Dennis Ministries, and it is so amazing to have fellowshipped with you all this month and to have shared just this wisdom in this community, specifically around entrepreneurship. I felt like it was important for this final episode to talk all about what it means when you don't feel inspired and how you move through that, right? And I say this as somebody who has been an entrepreneur, as we have discussed, for quite a long time, but the shift happened when this became my main thing. And what can happen when you are operating from maybe a more of a hobby perspective or a hobby experience into something that's a little bit more serious, whether it's full-time entrepreneurship or maybe you have just decided that you have a particular financial goal or impact goal that you want to reach, there has to be a shift in your approach. And the shift in the approach has to be, whether you feel like it or not, you produce. Whether you feel like it or not, you produce. This is different, right? Because especially as people who are creative, we want to create things when we feel like it. We want to write when we feel inspired. We want to craft when we have a burst of inspiration, a burst of energy, right? But in order to build a sustainable business, there has to be some discipline. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode, and I'm excited about it. I had this idea as I am preparing for a training that's coming up pretty soon, and there were some days where I said, okay, I know I need to produce, I know I need to hit these goals and these action items that I need to do in advance of the training, but there were moments where I didn't feel like it. And it's not that I wasn't excited about doing this work, but it just can be a little bit of like, procrastination, right? Or, I'm not really feeling it today, so let me just put it off to the next day. Let me put it off to the next day. And the Lord really convicted me about the importance of discipline, setting expectations, setting a plan, and following through. Not only with people externally, not only with people who are clients, but also with myself. And the importance of doing that with ourselves as entrepreneurs. Because I've found, and I'm guilty of this, of hitting deadlines for everybody else. I mean, worst case scenario, the deadline is going to be hit, and the 9th hour, the 10th hour, the 11th hour, whatever it is, it's going to be hit because I made that commitment. But when it comes to things that I've set for myself, sometimes I can be a little bit more lax. And I could be a little bit like, I'm tired, or this other thing came up that I would rather be doing, or this other thing feels like it takes priority. But in order to build, again, the sustainable business, a sustainable business that is filled with integrity, not only to other people, but to yourself, there has to be some self-actualization, right? Which is making some decisions that prepare you to move where you want to go, right? So it is important to set those intentions with yourself, but to also keep them. And hopefully you're not like me and you just keep every single promise to yourself. But I mean, we're human, so I understand if you fall off the wagon sometimes, as do I. But self-leadership really is about leading yourself with vision. And I'm going to do a little cheat sheet here because I wrote down a definition. And self-leadership is leading yourself with vision, values, and discipline, even when external accountability is absent. So this is what we've already talked about. So even when there isn't a looming deadline from someone else, you still have that self-directed leadership and that self-discipline in order to produce what needs to be produced. This is from a spiritual perspective. I can also look at the life of Jesus. And Jesus had many commitments, many expectations. People expected a lot from him. They wanted him to heal every single person, to teach all the people, to do all of the things, but Jesus still had to be aware of his assignment. So he had to be aware of, what did my Father call me to do in this season? Even though there are a million other things that I could be doing right now, what did the Lord ask me to do? So that's part one. Part two, he then had to commit to doing that thing and only that thing, and being disciplined with it. And I can also, one of the things, Jesus was so clear, right? He's perfect. But as humans, we can start to feel that tug and pull of expectations, right? If I'm imagining what Jesus' experience was, people are constantly pulling on him. But he had to be so crystal clear about his needs in that season, in that moment, what he needed to do. And in order to do that, he did what? He pulled away, he retreated. So he made sure that he had quiet time to be aligned with the Father. So if you are finding yourself struggling, tugging back and forth between expectations from external people, from your clients, from yourself, from your family, from your friends, from your hopes, your dreams, all the things, retreat, take some time away, find that focus with the Lord, just as Jesus did. So Jesus pulled away. He was able to commune with his Father and get clarity, and maybe he didn't need clarity, but really just a rejuvenation, because there were so many expectations of him. So if you are feeling weak, tired, overwhelmed, retreat with the Father and he will replenish you. Number two, some practical strategies from this, other than pulling away and praying. Tools are so helpful. You know, if you have tools that I personally love, of course, the entire Google suite, but even within the Google suite, there also might be some tips, tricks, hacks that you can be utilizing within tools that you already have, so you don't have to purchase new things. One thing that I absolutely love to do is a task in my Google Calendar. If I'm working on my computer, if I'm on my phone, I have started to add little reminders with timestamps in either my calendar or my apps. My reminder app on iPhone. So those are things that, as I think of things that, oh, I need to prioritize this, I need to figure out where this fits in my schedule, or, oh, I need to be clear that this thing gets done tomorrow. Something with a little ping really helps me that says, oh, Casey, by the end of the day, you need to submit this. By tomorrow, you need to do this thing. I'll also on my calendar set reminders and alerts. So if I have something, let's say due a week from today, for example, whenever we're watching this, I'll add a calendar invite for that day and then set a reminder for a week in advance. So that just helps me prioritize or reprioritize, like, oh yeah, this thing is coming up next week. Let me make sure I have everything that I need for that. So Google Suite, super helpful. I love my calendar, utilize my calendar constantly. I live by that calendar. It keeps me on track. I also love little note-taking tools. You don't have to use the ones that I use, but I do also utilize Evernote and really just the Notes app on my phone. So whatever tools are helpful to you. In my other organizations that I collaborate with, I utilize Slack, which is really amazing, Asana, and Monday. So all that to say, lots of tools. Find what works for you. Find the project management systems that work for you, and schedule in your creative time, schedule in your brainstorming time, schedule in your editing time, like whatever you need in order to produce what it is that you desire to produce. Schedule it out, and that helps you to stick with your schedule and your plan even when you're not feeling like it. And just as a little side note, I saw somebody talk about this the other day as well, and this was also part of the inspiration. And the guy's name is Kev on Stage, and he is a comedian, also a believer, and he talked about how he is able to show up, and he's been creating a video a day for years. And I started following him a long time ago, 5 or 6 years ago, probably, maybe even longer. And he's been creating a video every day. He made that commitment to himself, and he has now built this really large platform. And he talks about how he had to have some grace with himself and with his creativity, realizing that every single video that he creates is not going to be perfect. Every single video that he creates is not going to be the funniest thing that he's ever done, but it is content. Like, it is the commitment for him. So, whatever that is for you, and we've talked about this in previous episodes, what is the commitment that you can do, that you are committed to doing? Is it writing a blog post or an article once a month? Is it emailing your community? Is it reaching out to potential clients? Like, what is the thing that you are committed to doing on a consistent basis? Because that is, again, it's that small progress, that steady progress that really develops you as an individual, but it also in turn grows your business, because one of those videos is going to go viral. One of those posts is going to hit the right person at the right time. They're going to call you to book you. Whatever it is, there's beauty in that rhythm of consistency, even if it's not perfect. So I want us to release some of that pressure that feels like we have to be the best of the best of the best at every single thing that we produce, right? Because when you have that level of pressure, it then creates this vacuum of perfectionism, and that also can cause some stagnation, because if you're not feeling inspired, and then you feel like, oh, this isn't the best thing that I've ever done, maybe I just shouldn't do it. And then you get back into the, oh, I'll just wait until I get inspired. And it then becomes this vicious cycle that lacks the possibilities and the potential that your business could experience, and the transformation that your audience or the people that you serve could experience. Accountability, powerful, so important and necessary. So if you don't yet have an accountability partner, you may be able to find one if you drop a note in the comments and let us know if you need an accountability partner or how somebody can partner with you, and make that request if you don't yet have somebody that you think that would be available and interested in partnering with you. So we're happy to do that, and our community is fabulous. So drop your requests down there. And if you already have accountability or accountability partner or a process or a system, let us know what works for you. That will be amazing. And finally, rest on purpose. There has to be a time, we talked about this at the top of the episode, of retreat. There has to be a time where you step back and pause. Step back and pause. If you feel like you're in a creative rut, if you feel like you're not able to produce at the level that you want to produce, take a pause, take a breather, do something that inspires you. I personally love to turn on some music and dance around my house. That is just like my best way to release stress outside of working out. That's like my other form of working out if I'm not rowing. Some of you guys know that I'm a rowing instructor. So I'm just dancing around my house, just like releasing tension and getting some of that blood flow going. And that also can be really inspiring. So accountability matters, finding tools that work for you, and then creating a process or a system to follow through on what your commitment is, right? And finally, I just want to encourage those who are watching this and they're saying, oh my gosh, I've been consistent, I've been producing, even when I don't feel like it. I just want to encourage you that as a person of faith, we find in the scriptures that there are people who toiled, who planted, and who harvested and planted and harvested consistently, not entirely knowing the outcome, but knowing that they were being obedient. And this goes back to one of the earlier episodes where we talked about obedience, and that is truly what matters. It is less about the perfection of everything. It's less about the inspiration of everything and more about being obedient to the Lord. So if the Lord has called you, and I believe that you were called to some form of influence because you were created, you already have that calling of influence. What that looks like for you is different. It's different for every single person. Some of us are called to be influencers in our church community. Some of us are called to be influencers in our family. Some of us are called to be influencers from stage and everything in between. Some of us behind the scenes. Whatever it is, we are still called and equipped for such a time as this. So continue to do the work, whether it is celebrated, whether you feel like people see it or not. it still matters. And I am grateful to be a part of your journey. I would love to hear your feedback about what you're taking away from this entire series, or maybe even from this episode, and how you're applying this, actively applying this to your life. So I, again, am Casey Sharperson. What a blessing to be with you. Stay encouraged. This season is your season. It's the best season to create, to build, and to grow the dream that the Lord has given you. See ya.